This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hey, are you looking to scale your business from 5 figures to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7 figures? If you are, I have the perfect thing for you. What I want you to do today is I want you to go download a book. This book is going to take you through my 3-pillar system. It's 100% free. All you have to do is go to growfast.cash. I say again, go to growfast.cash and you're going to be able to download my free international best-selling book, which is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. You can take that book. It's going to help you scale your business to the next level. Again, go download it. Be good, be brief, be gone. Growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host. Well, technically today I'm not gonna be your host, but my name is James Foo Torres, better known as Foo. And today I have Shelby Ring. She is the chief cat herder and CEO of a video production company, and will be the host of today's show because she suggested to me that given that she's also a podcast host, she's like, hey, so has somebody interviewed you in your podcast? And I'm like, actually, no. And then she said, like, she offered herself to interview me on my podcast. So I'm very excited to see how this goes. And hopefully we get some great content out of this. But before getting into things, Shelby, how are you?
I'm doing well. There was a raccoon outside today as I was feeding my cats. So it's been an eventful morning, but I'm here. I don't have rabies and I'm ready to roll.
That's good. That's good. Great way. Like, hey, we start on a positive note. You know, Shelby doesn't have rabies. Let's celebrate that.
I'm rabies free this morning.
Oh, awesome. I like that. So I am going to let you lead us now because I'm not the host of this episode. So where are you going to take me now?
Well, Foo, let me just say thank you for trusting being in my loving embrace to guide people on what is your origin story. And I wanted to interview you because wormholing on YouTube, found your stuff, was like, who is this human? And the more I looked through your episodes, I realized, when was the last time this guy has had his story told? So thank you for trusting me. I just would like to fangirl out about your origin story. I've seen a little bit about your background, but for people that don't know you, where are you from?
I am from Puerto Rico. I got born and raised here until I was 23. Then I got recruited with the Air Force. So then I went to the States and lived in the States for 7 years, because 4 years that I was in the Air Force, then 3 years that I was in Oregon. Came back almost 10 months ago. So I'm right now back in Puerto Rico working with clients. Majority of them are in the United States still. And growing here in Puerto Rico. So that's my little journey.
Beautiful. Where in Oregon were you?
I was close to Portland. It was in Hillsboro, Oregon.
Okay, awesome. So how did you go from the Air Force into Imperium Authority? What was the origin story of you opening the doors of your business?
It was 2020, and I've been already reading books like Crushing It from Gary Vee, Think and Grow Rich, and a couple other books that I've been like since college, been reading and learning from people. And I tried like maybe 2 or 3 different like network level marketing because that was the opportunities that were presented to me. I did not know that I could make a marketing agency, for example, right? Like that's not something that I knew I could do. And when I was in 2020, just browsing the internet because I had money, I had time. I just came back from a deployment, my last deployment before getting out of the Air Force. That was the plan. And there was nothing to do because everything was closed. And I was like, look, if there's a time to open a business that I can run online, it's now. Everybody is migrating online. It just makes sense, right? So that's how I started looking for YouTube videos, and then I came through an ad that described something called drop servicing. And I'm like, because I was looking for drop shipping as an option, right? So I was like, is drop shipping an option for me? And I'm like, okay, analyzing things. And I'm like, I don't know, like product. What if I buy product, doesn't sell, blah, 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 right? And then when I came across this thing called drop servicing, I was like, it sounds like drop shipping, but instead of products with services. I like that. Like, since like no inventory, no anything. So sounds good, right? So I explored the opportunity, and the opportunity was, it basically ended up being, look, you can build an agency, focus on the brand and selling, and then don't worry about any of the fulfillment. We already have trusted service providers here in this community that you're going to be part of, so you can earn as you learn. And I'm like, wow, this sounds like an amazing opportunity. I have a course that I can learn everything from how to get my EIN number, right? How to register an LLC, get my EIN, have a business bank account, and then how to understand lead generation, SEO, PR, doing like press releases and things like that. So then that was my to the entrepreneurial journey, right? Into the entrepreneurial world. And that's how I started learning. It's like, okay, so all I have to focus right now is just have a name, build my brand, and just get on sales calls as much as possible, and just get the reps in, get sales, and then arbitrage. That's it. So I was like, perfect. And I got into that. And then from there, then I started learning, right? Oh, like I can do these things myself now. And that's how I got into opening Imperium Authority.
That's awesome. That's when you described the onboarding of, how do you open up the business banking account, get your EIN, like just all that setup. Tell me about your process through learning how to do sales, because you said you just, it's like the dialing for dollars. What was that experience for you?
I thought that it was gonna be relatively simple just because I am a very social person. So talking to strangers was nothing new to me. I'll always talk to strangers. So I was like, well, talking to strangers is easy for me, so this should be easy. But making sales and talking to strangers, completely different things, because one, it's gaining trust that you can get paid, thousands of dollars, at least $1,000 I was trying to get, at least, and provide a service, and you're new and all that, like, versus just talking to somebody with no money involved, right? Like, just very different dynamics. And quickly found that out, and then just became obsessed with just keep moving, just get the reps in. How many calls can I get? I know I'll sell eventually. So I just got obsessed with the reps and learning through the experience of doing it.
Did you come into any experience of imposter syndrome, or just, I can do this?
I definitely got imposter syndrome, and I think that hits at every level. Still sometimes it hits me. It's like, oh, like, who am I? And I'm like, well, got a few years. Like, I've been working with a lot of brands, so I'm good, right? but yeah, like, I definitely had a lot of imposter syndrome, because, I mean, especially when you haven't sold anything, it's like, damn, I just want to get my first sale, and it took me 6 months to get my first sale. And then it was like, great, I got it. And then, damn, I got to get the next one now. So you go back to that, right? So I definitely had a lot of that. I never thought that I always knew that I could do it, right? So I never doubted that I could do it. It's just a matter of when and how and all those things. But I always knew that I was going to be able to do it eventually.
Okay, so that line, you said, I knew that I could do it. How did you know you could do it?
Because if others could do it, why can't I? Like I feel very capable in many ways. I speak two different languages, and I dedicated myself to study and being very social, learning human behavior and things like that. That I knew that give me an edge, even more than a lot of people that didn't even have those advantages, let's say, and still managed to get sales and build a business. So I was like, if other people can do it, I know that I'm above average. Like I always felt this way throughout my whole life. Like I'm like, because I mean my grades and all that, I always was like in the top of my class, or at least, you know, always above the average. Like I always, depending on how interested I was in the class, right? But so that I came with that kind of mentality to the entrepreneurial world.
So were your parents business owners?
No, my grandpa, yes. Okay. My uncle, yes, but not my parents. No.
Okay. So you were not growing up in the culture of, hey, go out there and make a system and you can do it.
No, I was shown by action, but I always, let's say, push towards go and get formal education, like be an engineer, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be something like that. Typically it was like engineering, and I always liked math and science, so it made sense. And I did study engineering here in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And then from there, I got recruited with the Air Force because I was, look, I need to get out of the island. I just need to become independent. That was where I was at the moment. And I took the full-time job that I could find because I couldn't get a good full-time job here. So I was like, well, I'll sign with the Air Force. Gave me my first full-time job and gave me I became completely bilingual and built my credit, built all that stuff. And so it was the best decision that I could have made for sure.
Oh, that's so awesome. And I'm laughing to myself thinking about the line of I have to get off the island. And we've discussed this earlier of, my background was working on catamarans in the US and British Virgin Islands. So for me, I was like, I have to get on an island. I need to be out of the States and I need to be on a boat somewhere. So the transition. But when you came from finishing serving in the Air Force, I know that for a lot of veterans, it's a really challenging transition to come into civilian life. What was that process like for you?
It was challenging for sure because for the first time since I got so the Air Force is my first full-time job, right? So for the first time I got out of the Air Force and suddenly I don't have a secure paycheck necessarily. I mean, I did lined up a job. So that this is how I did it to give context. So I lined up a job to start right after my contract with the Air Force. So like a couple days after. So I was like, so I don't like, I have a paycheck and then I have another paycheck, right? So, and then because I lined up that job, then I started the business because I started the business 6 months prior to ending my contract with a job lined up already in Oregon, because that's where I was, like where I got the job. And I thought it was a cool state to move in. I was in Idaho, just moving from Idaho to Oregon seemed easy enough. So that's how I did it. So when I was in this transition between like I am doing the business and I'm trying to make a sale so I can, like, I wanted to quit the next job, which was with Intel, even prior to starting it. I was like, hopefully I can just sell my way and just not have to worry about even have to have a corporate job. But that didn't happen. So I started working, and then I was taking sales calls on at noon, like at my lunchtime or in my days off and things like that, until like I was able to get that first sale, and then I get a couple more sales, and then felt confident enough to leave the job. But even there, it was like, damn, if I leave this, then I don't have a secure paycheck, but this is like killing me, like my business. So I was like, so that stress of, there's not, like in the Air Force, I have every 2 weeks, I got a paycheck, period. Every 1st and 15, period. That's it. I never had to doubt that. Now it's like, well, I had this job, but I want to leave it. And as soon as I leave this, I don't have a secure paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that was very stressful. And that was the thing. It's like, how do I secure that? And then just how to sell something that was monthly recurring revenue. That was like the focus. And I finally was able to do it, but I did it like much later. So I was just kind of like winging it for a while until I figured it out.
So you get those strong wings, just going along one transaction at a time. Where were you in Idaho?
I was in Mountain Home, which is where the Air Force Base is. Okay. Then in my last couple of months, I lived in Boise. It's the capital.
Cool. Yeah.
So So from there, then I moved to Oregon.
Oh my gosh. Cool. All right. So when I guess, let me ask you this question. Do you believe that entrepreneurialism is for everybody?
No. I think everybody can do it, but I don't think everybody's willing to do it.
Ooh, say more.
It's you have to be willing to metaphorically get punched in the face so many times and still go back up and go back for more with a smile. You know?
Mm.
And that's something that not everybody is willing to take. And even the ones that are willing question themselves, like, why am I even doing this? Like, I think about that all the time. I'm like, damn, like, it's just getting punched in the face again and just get back on it and just go get punched in the face with a smile again, right? I think about that all the time, but I don't want to have a normal life. I don't feel like I want to just survive. I want to thrive. And for it, being able to thrive and have a fulfilling life where I feel like I'm doing something impactful, I know that this is the path. And I know this is the price that I need to pay. And I'm here paying it.
Hell yeah. That's so awesome. I mean, I think that that's the grit of it is, yeah, you're signing up to be punched in the face repetitively, and then you keep coming back. Like, I have lots of jokes with my fellow founder friends where it's like, what is wrong with us? Like, why do we want to do this? Because I know that when things get tough for me, yeah, there's always that old voice that's like, wouldn't it be nice to work for somebody else? And yet then when you start plugging in that thought process, it's like, well, gosh, I really value my autonomy, right? Or like, I want to be able to have the capacity to earn as much as I want to, or if I need to scale back because something else is pulling on me in my life, I want to have the control to make that time. When you were building that resilience as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, what were some of the most helpful things that you came across in building that stamina?
But for me, believing in a bigger purpose, or let's say connecting with the spirituality and the fact that the universe is always working out in our favor. That's what has helped me the most, because entrepreneurship is so difficult that I found myself like, I need to believe in something bigger than myself, because just for myself, this is just not enough motivation to do it. Like, I need to do it for something bigger, and I need to feel like I am being supported. And even when, like, not even family approves, like my mom, and when most people don't understand it, I need to look for something, and I started looking for in the spirituality, right? Like how, and then I started looking for like different ways, and then I kind of, with coaching, and started doing like breath work and with yoga, and kind of like went deeper into it and to learn more about things that's science not necessarily can explain, like the metaphysics and the spiritual realm, and learning about that there's no business problems, just personal problems that reflect on the business. And so then I was like, okay, so it's everything on me and in my beliefs, my limiting beliefs. And so then I started believing, look, even if I don't see it, I know that everything is working out on my favor and I'm getting what I need, not necessarily what I want, but what I need when I need it. And just that thought and just continuously live in gratitude and just believing that, even though I don't necessarily have proof of that, like I don't have tangible proof of that, but I just the belief of that and just kind of like letting go and just surrender to that and just live the life as good as I can, following my passion and just being the best version of myself. That has been the thing that has helped me to be resilient through this process.
What are some gratitude practices? Like, what does that cultivation that you're describing, what does that look like on a day-to-day level in your life?
Continuously reminding myself to be grateful for what I have. It's something that it's very powerful. I mean, just being in that frequency of gratitude and just putting alarms and notes and journaling and talking to people about it, like that continuously putting myself in situations to remind myself to be grateful. That has been one of the most powerful things. Other things are the breath work. Just pause and breathe. Just all the time, something's triggering me. I know that I don't blame the other person. I'm like, why is this triggering me? Let me just breathe. Let me pause and just kind of like center myself and then operate from there and not just be reactive. So those are the things, just being grateful and focus a lot on my breathing have been the most beneficial things. And that sounds simple enough, right? And it is. It's just a matter of just doing it consistently and not forget to do it.
Would you say, are you a more level-headed or warm-hearted person? Do you roll with logic more or passion?
It depends. To be honest, I kind of do both because I fluctuate between the different energies, because it's like sometimes I'm more in the yang, in the that, or I'm very logic, organization, thinking about how to make things happen in a logical way. But then sometimes I'm more in like the yin, like that creative, more flowy energy, and just act out of passion and just trust that just following my passion will get me where I need to go. So I use both, just depending on what do I see that serves me the most at the given moment.
Beautiful. That makes me think of very like left-brained and right-brained processes, and being able to shift gears like that. I don't think that comes naturally for a lot of people. We have one particular dominant. Tell me about, do you believe in work-life balance?
Yes. I also think that you have to put a disproportionate amount of work in order to be able to do something big. So I do believe that there has to be a balance, because if you burn out, then you can't work, right? So you have to take care of yourself. So you can't just be work, right? You got to take some time to rest, to enjoy the little things, enjoy things in life, so that way you recharge, right? But also I think that it's not an amount of like just everything has to be balanced every day. Some days, if it's required for you to work 12 hours to get something done that needs to get done, then let's do it. But it's not something that you should be doing every day. It's not a matter of like, look, today I need to work 12 hours, but then tomorrow maybe I just have to work 4, right? So it's a matter of doing what you think is serving you the most at the given moment, being kind to yourself, but also like just doing what is required.
Looking to grow your business beyond 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures plus? What I want you to do is go download this book. The title is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. It will help you grow your business past 5, 6, and 7 figure. Go download the book today, growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and download the book for absolutely free.
What would you say are in your business model and the lifestyle that you find balance in? What are some of the key moves that you've made over the course of your business that have just been like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do that sooner?
There has been 2 huge pivots in the last, let's say, 2 years or so. The first one was business related. The second one was personal. So the first one was to learn how to position myself as a trusted advisor rather than a service provider.
Ooh.
Let me explain. So when you're a service provider, you're looked as like I was being looked at as the PR guy. Like, oh, you're the PR guy, stay in your lane. Though you don't I'm not going to you to solve problems. I'm going to you just for PR. And that's cool in a way because, oh, the PR guy, I go for PR needs. But when you know that you can grow a company rather than just looking at the PR side of things, then it's limiting, right? So I learned how to then come into businesses having this customized systematic approach that now I start every time positioning myself as somebody, look, I'm looking here to help you strategize. And strategize is just prioritize, basically. It's just another word to say how to prioritize things. So when I come into every engagement now, I do an assessment. I segment it into 9 different areas, and I look at your whole business from before, like how you attracting, to then after you make the sale, how do you surprise, delight, and wow your clients? How do you do retention? How do you do referral programs? All that stuff, right? Like, so even before people know about you, to then how do I keep my clients super happy and I make an army of advocates on my brand, right? So when I look at all that, I'm able to then look at like the whole picture, what online and offline and everything, not just PR or social media. No, I can look every single possible way that is the marketing affects your company, which is everything that touches the outside, right? So being able to come in with that framework, I can help my clients in a more holistic way. And by positioning myself as somebody's there to solve problems, to almost become a partner for them, right? A trusted advisor is somebody that is by your side, not below you. Like it's I like to call it like the hand of the king. That's what I like being, right? Like there's the king, you're the king of or queen of your business. I'm the hand of the king. I'm next to you. I'm helping you to be there when you're not able to take those hard decisions, to lead teams, to connect the dots between marketing, operations, and profits, right? So that approach was the thing that really changed everything in my business. Because now I come into engagement, I do an assessment, and then after that, it's like, look, here's a report. You can go and try to fix this yourself, or you can hire me for 6 months to a year, and I'll help you implement those things. So I take a lot of things out of your plate, and I can do it for you as an executive of your company. I found to position myself as a fractional CMO has worked very well for my clients. So that positioning, going from the PR guy and then trying to sell people in SEO or whatever other things, rather than like, hey, I'm here to help you grow your business, period. Now that allows me to solve problems directly or indirectly, right? In that position. So that was the biggest shift on the business. Still, something was missing. I was like, I feel like I have all the knowledge, all the resources, all the support that I need. What's missing? And what was missing was to prioritize myself. So then that's when I helping a client with their marketing. She started helping me with with the understanding myself and the energy and the polarities of like the masculine energy, feminine energy, the yin and the yang and all like that, and how to leverage it. So that's what I was talking about that, because that's how I live my life now. I'm always very aware what type of energy do I need to be using to that it will best serve me, right? So that was the second thing that it was like the missing piece that I needed, and that's what I focus a lot into the breath work and started learning a lot more about the energy and energetic field and and like the spirituality and all that. So like that those are the two biggest changes, or the two biggest things that really changed the course of my life.
That's massive, especially the polarity, because that's actually I'm like giggling to myself, because I think that when you can understand that type of language of, the giving versus receiving, and what state are you in, I mean, what percentage of your energy before having that awareness were you in that giving and outward energy versus receiving?
Yes. It's just having that awareness and know how to leverage it. It's been life changing for me, and I have made it my mission to now help others with that. Right, like when I come into an engagement, I'm always making my clients remember like to position themselves as a trusted advisor, and also be aware of the, like the polarities and how to leverage that. So like, look, in this time we're in this creative mode, right? In this we're in this mode, we're creating, we're strategizing, and then if not, then we are more in like this. We're more structure and like this. We already strategized and got creative. Now we have this plan. Now we just have to execute. So then now we get in that energy, and I'm with like that yin energy or like yang energy, and be like more of, okay, this is what needs to get done. We're in this energy now, and that has been so helpful with me and my clients. And then I obviously work with clients that are willing to be open to that, right? Because if not, then you're not my people, and I'm not for everybody, or no, we're not for everybody, and that's okay.
Beautiful. So what's the split? You mentioned like you speak two languages, like you have access to two very different cultures. What are the differences in approach between your Latin client base and just the English speaking market? What are some subtleties that you're noticing?
Here in Puerto Rico has been a tough market for me. First of all, like I've been here for 10 months. I serve clients in the United States, so I am tapping right now into the Puerto Rican market, and I got the first client. And that what I've seen is that here in Puerto Rico, there's less educated people to like in sophisticated business education, let's say, right? Because it's Puerto Rico experienced such a massive growth in the last 200 years, let's say, or 150 years, that like we went from extreme poverty to now we're associated with the United States. So we're like, there's a lot of wealth in here. In some places there's still extreme poverty in like the mountains or things like that. So there's this like Puerto Rico still, it's trying to catch up, right? There's a lot of city people that have traveled to the United States, work over there, come back. That's one of my clients right now, because they understand, right? But then they still dealing with other people that are then look, this is what I'm seeing in the culture, right? So because Puerto Ricans, because this is what I'm noticing, because we're such a small island and we're so together, it's like, what am I gonna learn from you? Like I should know almost the same as you and things like that, right? Like, but if you see somebody from the United States, it's like, oh, like this person must be like amazing because he's from there or something like that, right? So that's what I've noticed sometimes, that it's that difference here in Puerto Rico. Thankfully, because I'm coming from the United States, then people see me as like, oh, he went there and learned all these things, which I did, right? And then it came here and brought that. So it's a different dynamic in here, because most like people are connected some way or another. So that dynamic is very different than the United States, when like every state is a whole country basically, and then it's so different. So, and there's more education on like sophisticated business education, let's say. So that's what I've noticed. It's more diverse and it's more open and more possibilities in the United States. And here it's more small, and people feel more closer. So it's different. It's just different how like business works in here and there.
Yeah, it's more of a tight community. And I know what you're describing, where it's like if you were to start opening your business, but then it's like your aunties are like, what are you doing? Like, are you just doing another lemonade stand? Like, we know you from when you were little, like that. I have experienced this. So, Foo, of what you bring to the table, what's your superpower? Like, what is the thing that, like, not your team, but what is that eagle eye perspective that you bring to your clients where it's like, that's just like your magic touch?
I would say my superpower is that I'm very good at building strong and genuine connections with people, and being that glue that glues people together. And that's why I have a community that's called El Colectivo, which is the collective in Spanish. And being able to collect these people into my collective, and being able to do things and just send one message on WhatsApp and get 12 people to show up like the same day to something. That's something that I consider to be very powerful and my superpower. I really think that I have that touch of just coming to a stranger and making them feel comfortable, and then integrating them with a collective that I formed with my community, and being able to kind of like synchronize the group and keep them together. So that's my superpower.
I love that. What if someone doesn't intrinsically have that type of mindset? What are some actionable tips that you would give somebody where they do want to feel more camaraderie in their community, but they don't know how to set that off? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to focus on being the best communicator that they can possibly be. And for that, yes, education important, but even more than that, it's just get out there and talk to strangers. So go out there and do it. Like, oh, you want to do a community? Just start it, and then be adding people, ask for feedback, adjust along the way. So that's what I would say. It's just, and then along the way, just continuously, how can I be a better communicator? And for that, I highly suggest to focus on breath work, or because then it becomes natural in your life. So, because for being a great communicator, you want to eliminate the crutches, right? Like you want to eliminate the likes and the ums. And for that, the best thing that you can do is pause. And for pausing, then just remind to breathe. So those things have helped me a lot to just pause, breathe, and get out there and talk to people and be more interested than being interesting.
Ooh, be more interested than being interesting. Oh, that's my favorite quote of today. Tell me, what are you working on right now in this chapter, whether it's directly in your business? What are you working on?
I'm working on growing my community, and then doing retreats for my community. So grow the community, serve the community. That's my goal, because I want to surround myself with like-minded people, and for that I just have to create it myself, because I've looked into many places, and I'm part of other communities, and that's great, like awesome, because you can be part of many communities. But if I want it to be my way, then I just have to create it. So that's why my focus is on building that community, so then I can serve that community and being able to have an exponentially higher impact, because it's not only what I can do personally or even my business, is what I can help the community do too, right? How can I amplify their impact? And now we have this exponentially higher impact that it's almost canalized because we're all have a similar mission and vision, right? And that's why we have this community.
So you mentioned retreats. Is there anything that's on the radar?
Yeah, so we're aiming for the first one to be in November. And so we're on August 20th, just so for context for people when they listen to this. And that's here in Puerto Rico. We are already being testing the language and the outline for some people, and it's resonating. It's very centered around what we call, me and my partner, So Alcina, Medicina Rebelde, which is rebel medicine, right? And it's everything. If you probably like notice that everything that I've talked here has been a lot about healing indirectly, right? Like, working on myself and all that. So being able to not only heal as a collective, but also even unite all the other healers and what I call, like, what is alternative medicine is like that, like rebel medicine, right? Like the Medicina Rebelde, because I lost the trust on big pharma and traditional medicine clearly has failed most of us, if not all of us. So then what can we do? All looking for all these natural solutions, and I've tried this, I've tried that. Here's the studies, here's these things to really back it up, and that's what I'm building with these retreats. It's to how can we also heal the healers too, right? Like they are healing people and they're helping people or heal themselves, let's say, right? And how to help them so then they can heal more people, right? Like I always love the concept of influencing the influencers, right? And if I want to take something that I like the most is the healing space, because if we're healed, right, if we work on ourselves, then the rest, business and everything else just kind of falls into place.
How can people get involved with any of your upcoming retreats or events? What actionable could they go towards?
The easiest way, and because I'm the most active, is in Instagram. So Instagram, James L as in Louis Foo, Foo, like Foo Fighters or a Foo Dog. And it's here, like if you're watching the video, it's in the name, and then links are gonna be in the description. So James L Foo, you can even Google that and just find all my social media by that name, and Instagram being my top one. So that's the one that I would rather people follow me and DM me. And then if you look enough, you go to my website, you'll find my phone number, you can find my emails and stuff, so that you can also contact me there. But DM will do.
Beautiful. And let me ask you this. So you're used to hosting, you're used to being on camera. Have you always been comfortable on camera?
No, I'm still, to be honest, I'm more comfortable now, for sure. I mean, been doing podcasts for over 2 years and a half now, or about. So I am more comfortable for sure, but I'm still kind of like, how do I post? Every time I'm taking pictures, I'm like, what do I do with my hands? Like, how do I make my face? Do I laugh? Do I not? Do I smirk? Like I'm still kind of working on that.
Go for the smirk. I love that. Well, what are some things that have helped you build confidence for that space? Because I know that there's so many of us that are business owners. We need to be on camera, right? I hate that when you put so much care into curating, whether it's your Instagram or your LinkedIn, you put these amazing comments and captions and all this great stuff, and then you post your face and people just go wild, right? Like they're like, oh, there's the person. So, for people that is a necessary evil of their scope of what they do, what were some things that you did to build more confidence on camera?
Like the same, basically the same thing that I've been saying. It's just getting the reps in. I'm going through that right now. Like I'm getting better at taking pictures and things because I'm just practicing, and I'm looking myself in the mirror, asking my friends that are models or people in the media, and like just looking up like what do people post in the internet, and that's how I've been doing it. And just also, if just watching my recordings when I'm recording a podcast and things, and just cringe and just embracing the pain of the cringe.
It's
you
so
know,
bad. Yes.
and just like, I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to say like so many times and and that is what has forced me, because of looking at myself. I don't want to look like that. So let me put a lot of effort to be better on that.
That is a solid piece of advice. It's like athletes, they watch the replay, they watch their games, they see what they did, how they can refine it. Why wouldn't it be any different for being on camera?
Definitely.
Ooh, all right. Final question before we land this beautiful plane ride of a conversation. Fu, when you are not in business mode, what are you doing?
I love to be in or around water. That's the easiest answer I can say. I love the beach. I love pool, jacuzzi, boats, especially floating, right? Like a boat, you're kind of floating, right? And also just floating down a river or things like that. Just stuff. I feel like I enter that flow state because I can let go. It's like there's something that is just driving me to water, and I can just surrender. Because I'm given that I'm a business owner, I'm often like the one making decisions and telling people what to do and in charge. So I love having the opportunity to just relax and let go, just not having to be in charge. Just like there's a captain on the boat, or there's the stream, and I'm tied with a couple of people, and I'm just in charge of the music or something, right? And just like flowing, and that floating, it's one of the best feelings in the world for me.
Oh, I love that. That makes me want to go float on a raft right now.
Right.
And all right. Yes. And you mentioned you like to be maybe just the volunteer DJ. What are some of the songs, jams, vibes, artists lately that are on your playlists?
I love house music, reggaeton, and drum and bass. So those are the things that I like the most. Especially drum and bass was something that I started to like a lot as of just the last like 2 years or so. And I think it's because of how my life changed. And I'm such a I live at such a high speed pace. I'm like just always doing on. And then the drum and bass is like very like, a lot of beats per minute, just right. So I started liking that. And songs like One Day at a Time, I think it's called New Form. I think it's the NU Form is the artist. And it's just because, it's just like, the world is changing and I'm just taking it one day at a time. That's what the hook says, and that's why I really love the lyrics. And then it goes drum and bass and start dancing,
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure, Fu. Thank you for letting me just do a catch you out of nowhere and come in and hear a little more of your story. Any other actionables or closing thoughts?
If you want to have big impact and make big money, you have to be good at sales. And for that, you have to be a great communicator, like I said before. So focus and be the best possible communicator you can be, like I said earlier. And also then use that to be good at sales. Because that's just, if to grow, like even if you're selling yourself to a position in a company, you're still gonna, you're still selling, right? It's either selling yourself, selling a product, selling a service. Being good at sales will open so many doors. And that's my best advice that I have for closing thoughts.
Send it. Well, thank you so much for this episode.
Thank you for interviewing me on my podcast.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to say, just to close us out, this was Shelby Ring and Fu, and this is us signing off. Peace.
Hey, we all want to scale our business. Hey, I have the answer for you today to help you do that. If you're looking to scale from 5, 6, even 7 figures and beyond, book called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. I'm going to give it to you for free. All you have to do is type in growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and you can download the book for absolutely free. I hope the book helps you this year. Take your business to the next level. Again, go grab the book, growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. I wish you the best and grow, scale, and win.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Foo with your host, Foo. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God.